Welcome to Age of Aquarius Soul Activation Temple. Yeah, through soul activations, guided meditations, and crystalline codes, we return to who we truly are, which is light in form. You are here because your soul is ready. So welcome home. 2025 functioned more like a temporal wrinkle, a compression of timelines where unfinished soul lessons were pulled forward all at once so they could finally be resolved. A wrinkle in time is not about fantasy, it is about time folding in on itself. In 2025, many people, and empaths in particular, experience sudden resurfacing of old wounds, patterns, relationships, and karmic themes. Emotional intensity that felt disproportionate or out of nowhere, a sense that years of growth happened in months or even weeks, or you might have felt pushed and not gently guided into truth. This happens when collective evolution reaches a point where avoidance is no longer supported. Time compresses so that souls can catch up with their own potential, and for empaths, this was amplified. The reason why empaths were hit so hard is because they are natural transmitters and translators of energy. For years or even lifetimes, really, they have absorbed others' pain, softened harsh systems. They have held emotional space without being seen. They have confused compassion with self sacrifice. 2025 broke that pattern. Empaths were placed in situations where overgiving became painful instead of noble. Silence became unbearable. Self betrayal carried immediate consequences, and boundaries were no longer optional. This wasn't punishment, it was, in fact, initiation. There was a threshold, and many empaths crossed a sovereignty gate. And through loss, disillusionment, exhaustion, deep grief, betrayal, what could have felt like a final "I cannot do this anymore" moment, that moment was in fact the energetic portal. On the other side of it is a different empath who is less available to manipulation, no longer seeks validation through service. They are able to feel more deeply without being consumed and are now anchored in self authority. This is the shift from wounded empath to sovereign empath. What has changed in this energy shift is that empaths are no longer meant to absorb energy, they are meant to emanate it. The field has recalibrated so that over responsibility drains faster, misalignment is felt immediately, truth feels stabilizing, not destabilizing, and power comes from presence and not effort. Empaths are stepping out of being energetic shock absorbers and into being frequency holders. That, beloveds, is a massive evolutionary shift, and that is why it feels like your power is returning. In fact, your power was never lost, it was merely deferred. 2025 forced empaths to reclaim their voice, their choice, discernment, self trust, and the energetic boundaries. And with that comes sovereignty. Sovereignty doesn't harden the heart, it stabilizes it. Empaths are surely learning. I can feel everything, and I still choose myself. And that frequency holders is mastery. So what does this mean going forward? For those who crossed this threshold, 2026 and beyond will feel clearer, quieter, and more intentional. Relationships will either align quickly or fall away cleanly. Intuition will be sharper and less emotionally charged. Purpose will feel embodied and not aspirational. Empaths are no longer here to agonize and endure to the world. They are here to change the field by standing fully in themselves. The first full Cancer moon of 2026 acted like a ceiling and a resetting point for everything that moved through the temporal wrinkle of 2025. Cancer governs emotional memory, the nervous system, safety, belonging, home, and the maternal matrix, and of course, how we were held or not. And so, for empaths especially, this first full moon of the year in Cancer was not about illumination alone. It was about emotional culmination and release. This moon said, what emotional identity are you no longer carrying forward? This is the frequency reset. 2025 compressed emotional timelines. We relived old survival patterns, felt ancestral and childhood imprints, confronted where care was conditional, and saw where we learned to earn safety by overgiving. But compression cannot last forever, right? And this Cancer full moon functioned as a temporal decompression point. Think of it as the exhale after holding your breath for years. The nervous system realizing that the threat has passed and the emotional body finally being allowed to rest. It did not start something new, it closed something ancient. This is not a fiery reset as much as it is a somatic reset. For empaths, it can show up as sudden emotional neutrality around old pain. There is less reactivity to family dynamics or past triggers. A quiet grief that passes quickly instead of lingering, and even a surprising sense of, I'm okay now. You may not cry dramatically, you may simply feel like I'm just done. And that right there is the reset. Importantly, what is actually being reset in empaths is that the caretaker frequency is being dissolved. You may notice that there is less guilt when you rest. There is less urge to explain yourself and less emotional responsibility for others' moods. This is a time of profound rewiring and the reorganizing of emotional memory. Cancer rules memory, not the mental kind, but rather the cellular kind. And so this Cancer moon reorganizes what our bodies recognizes as normal, what safety feels like, and how closeness is defined. After this moon, peace may feel unfamiliar, but oh so welcome. The new reset empathic boundary becomes permeable by choice, and instead of being open all the time, empaths begin to pulse, meaning that they are only open when aligned. They are closed when resting. They become responsive and not reactive. And this is a hallmark of sovereignty. This full moon did not activate empaths, it confirmed them, and it says you survived the compression. You crossed the threshold. Now rest in the frequency you earned. The reset you feel is real, and it's gentle because the hard part is already over. Remember that time is not linear, and whenever you enter this field is exactly when you are ready. And so, beloveds, you are not entering 2026 as a seeker, you are entering it as a stable field, and the world will feel that even when you say nothing at all.